This is Gemara Baba Basra Daf Ayin Hey, and all the learning for this month. The month of Elul has been generously sponsored by a close friend of the Daf, as Aschos Elias Neshama of Rizal Basra מאיר. Siyata de Shemaya, as we say each and every day, Talmud Torah Kenegei Kulam should raise up the Neshama of Rizal Basra מאיר higher and higher in Gan Eden Shalmaila, closer to the Kisei HaKavod, as she continues to be a Meilat Yosher for her entire Mishpacha. We pick it up on the bottom of Ayin Dalet and Beis, in the middle of a long and lengthy Agadita. V'Amar Rav Yehuda Amarav, or about 14 lines at the bottom. The first word is Rav Yehuda Amarav, and the reason why we bring down this memra simply because Rav Yehuda Amarav said something in the previous Gemara. So we continue. Says Rav Yehuda Amarav, Yardin Yatsa Mimaros Paimyas. The Yardin goes from the Ma'ara, the cave of Paimyas. Tanam Yachi of Raisa. Yardin Yatsa Mimaros Paimas. Umahalech B'Yama Shel Sivchi. It goes from the cave of Paimas and it goes through the Yam of Sichi, Ubiyama Shel Tveria, and through the Yam of Tveria. Umiskalgel V'Yari the Yam HaGadol. And it rolls down the great sea, the Yam HaGadol, and the Yardin goes all the way until it reaches the mouth of the Yasan, as we spoke about extensively. Shenemar Yiftach Ki Yagiach Yarden El Piu. Maskiv Rava Barula. 10 lines in the bottom. First word on line is Maskiv. Rava Barula is bothered. Haibe Behema is Varei Alev Ksiv. Asks Rava Barula, I don't understand. The pasuk is referring to the behemoths of the harim, of the hills, and not of the Livyasan. Elama Rava Barula, I must say behemoths vari alef. What is the time that these behemoths are confident that they stay alive? It's when the Yarden hits the mouth of the Livyasan. Continues the Gemara, 6 lines to the bottom, right after the Simin. Yami Gabriel Rayiv, Kasser Avdima Rav Yechon Maidech Sev. And anytime we see a Simin, we take a moment to realize Simanim are of paramount importance. Hopefully, we're going to be starting to inculcate the Zirchur Simanim system into our Daf Yomi share at some level, or the Amid Yomi, we're working on it. Siyata the Shemayos, let's realize that it's not some newfangled memory trick. It's come straight from the Gemara, as the Gemara is already put in Simanim to aid our memory. What is the meaning of the pasuk that says, cue the music. Hashem has founded Eretz Yisrael upon the seas and established it on the rivers. The 7 seas, the 4 rivers. Yisrael, that surround Eretz Yisrael. What are the 7 seas? Yamashal Tver, Yamashal Sadaim, Yamashal Chelas, Yamashal Cholta, Yamashal Sivcha, Yamaspaim is Yamagadol. So what are the 4 rivers? Yarden Yarmach Vikirum Yainu Piga. Because Rav Dima Reyechan and Yonasan Osid Gabriel. In the future, you know what Gabriel's going to do? Lasais, as we turn over to Ayineam and Aleph, Lasais Kanigya Im Levyasan. He's going to make a hunt against the Levyasan. Shenemar, in the top line of Ayineam and Aleph, as the pasuk says, Asimshach Levyasan Bechakam. Can he draw out the Levyasan with a hook? Ubechevel Tashkia Lishainai, and with a rope, can you grab its tongue? If not for the fact that Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to help the Malach Gabriel, he would be unable to attack, to hunt down the Levyasan. But Hashem helps him. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, Ha'isa Yigash Cherboy. Continues the Gemara discussing the Levyasan. On the last narrow line, Levyasan Rav. When the Levyasan is hungry, you might see Hevel mi piv. There's Hevel that comes out of his mouth. Umartia kol me Moshe b'misula. And the Hevel of the mouth of the Levyasan heats up all the waters of the Misula, of the deep. Shenemar. On the first wide line, as the pasuk says, Yartiach Kisir Misula. If not for the fact that the Levyasan is able to put his head into Gan Eden. Ein kol beria cholamid v'reicha, no one will be able to stand from the reach, from the odor of the Levyasan. Shenemar yam yasim kemerkacha v'shashet samei oiseh telamim. And when the Levyasan is samei, when it's thirsty, it makes talamim, furrows upon furrows, bayam in the sea. Shenemar, so the pasuk says, acharav yoyer nasif. What happens next? Amar Avach on the fourth white line, Bar Yaakov. Ein ta'im chayzeli tanei ad shivim shana. The ta'im, after Levyasan finishes drinking, the time does not go back. Le'isanai, to its original strength until 70 years. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, Yachshav ta'im l'seva, makes it deep like an old person, and we know seva is vein seva b'chusa mishivim, less than 70 years. Continues the Gemara, Amar Rabbi Yechanan. Also, the Kadosh Baruch Hu l'aseh suda l'sadikim. V'siyata l'shemaya b'karoi. The Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to make a meal for all the Heilig Tzadikim. V'sar shel Levyasan, from the flesh of Levyasan. Shenemar yakiru alam chaverim. Vein kares elo suda shenemar v'loshin yakiru v'yikar lehem kerem gedelav yachlo v'yishto, and they can eat and drink. Vein chaverim elo tamid cham, and the pasuk says yachro love chaverim. That refers to tamid cham. Shenemar yishavas beganim chaverim makshivim lekoilei chashmeini v'ashar mechalkin, and then the rest of the flesh of the yasa, and they're going to divide oisai v'oisin v'yischara b'shuki Yerushalayim, and they're going to sell it in the marketplace of Yerushalayim. Shenemar yachsiu ben Kenanim ela tigarim, the merchant. Shenemar Kenan b'yadai moiznei mer malasais ohiv. That's pshat number one. Pshat number two says the Gemara Viva Yisema. We're about 14 lines into the white lines. The first one in line is Merma. Says the Gemara Viva Yisema. Another pshat over here is mehacha, from over here. Sher seichrea sarim kenanel nechbedei eretz. Continues the Gemara discussing olam haba. V'amarav Rav Yechanan Asik Kadosh Baruch Hu la'asoi soka la'tzadikin mi'oiroi shel Levyasan. Many say this yiratzayin on his soka shenemar ismali basuko zayrei zacha isolei soka loi zacha. If there's a schos, then you're the tzaddik, you get to live in the sukkah of the Levyasan. If not, if one is not zeich oisel tziltzal, it becomes, they'll make for him shade. He won't actually get into the sukkah. Shnamar of tziltzal dagim roishai. Zachas lo tziltzal, zachas lo anak. If not, they're going to make from him a necklace. Shnamar v'anakum the grigri sechas, zachas lo anak, zachas lo kamiyah. You'll at least get a kamiyah, and of course we're seeing each of these are different levels of Sidkis. What's Hashem going to do with the rest of the Levyasan? He's going to spread it out over the walls of Yerushalayim. V'zivai, and its splendor, mavhik, will light up. Excuse me. The walls of Yerushalayim will be shining from the fact that it's going to be wrapped with the hide of the Levyasan. Continues the Gemara, we're at the two dots. V'samti kadkeich, kadkoit shimshei sayich. Make the walls out of a kadkoit son of Shemar Chmeni pligi trei malachei. There was a machlekes that says there's Ron Achmeni, two malachei berakia, two angels in heaven, Gabriel and Michael, V'amila Tramo Rav Marav, Amani Yehuda v'Chizkiyo, B'nei Rabbi Chia. Man Inon Yehuda v'Chizkiya, Yehuda and Chizkiya, Bnei Rav Chia, the children of Rav Chia. So what's the machlekes? Chad Amar Shoyam, it refers to the Shoyam stones. Chad Amar Yashbei refers to the Yashbei stones. Amar like Kadosh Baruch Hu, Lahave Kedin Uchedin, it'll be like both of them. Continues the Nevuah, Lasalavi Sharech Lavnei Ektach. I'll make gates of hewn stones. Ki adi yasser of Yechon Kadar Shatzakadosh Baruch Hu. Lahavi avanim tayvais umargaliyais. Shem is going to bring precious stones and pearls. Shem Shaishim al Shaishim, that are going to be 30 amas, with 30 amas, quite the massive stones. It's about 50 feet by 50 feet. V'chakav b'hem eser al esrim, and we're going to cut from them an opening of 10 amas by 20 amas. Ma'amidim b'shari Yerushalayim, the gates Yerushalayim will be one massive stone that will cut through to them. And opening Lagalev Allah Vaisei Talmud. There was a Talmud that heard this and he laughed. Really? Is it shaykh that's such a massive stone? Hashta nowadays, we don't even find stones the size of an egg of a small dove. Right? How big of a diamond is there? You think we're going to have such a massive stone? The Yomim, after some time, after some time, this Talmud was on a boat. This Talmud saw the Malachi Asharis that they were sitting, and they were cutting through these precious stones, Shehem, which were Lamed Alamid, 30 amos and 30 amos, Chokbam Eser, Bram Esrim, and they were making gates out of them, 10 by 20. Amr lo, the Talmud said to the Malachim, Hani Leman! What are these stones for? Amrullah, say the Malachim, Shasar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Lamidam B'Shar Yushalayim, these are going to be at the gates of Yushalayim, Rav Yochanan. So then this Talmud came in front of Rav Yochanan, Amr Lei, Deraish, Rabbi, you should keep on darshaning. Lachana lidraish too. It is fitting to darshaning. Keshamarta, like you taught us, Kin Reiti. I saw Amr Reika. So what did Rav Yochanan respond? You empty person! If not for the fact that you saw with your own eyes, you wouldn't believe it. What do you mean? We don't just believe things when we see that, we believe it. The Divrei Chachamim are the Metzias. You are one that mocks the words of the Chachamim and Osavina boy, even as a gal shalat samais. How careful we have to be. Sometimes we say, look, it proves Chazal. We see from our Gemara that Chazal don't need a proof. It is a reality, the fact that they said it. This Talmud got a terrible einish by saying such. Asks the Gemara Meisvei, about 25 lines at the bottom, is the first word on the line. I'll lead you very high. 200 amma is like 2 eighths a man. Says the Gemara, like twice the height of Adam Arishain. Rav Yehuda Mea amma can I get hechel like the hechel walls. Shenamar, as the pasuk says, "Sherbanenu kinetiyam begudalim benureihem benasenik kizavius uchutava yistam nesechel." Kikam Rav Yechon like kikamar. So that's the end of the question. So what do we see? We see that people are going to be 100 amos tall. So what's the problem? Problem is Rav Yechonan's gates that we just spoke about. It sounded very big. They're only 20 amos tall. We see Las Lavi, people are going to be massive. Answers Gemara Kikam Rav Yechon like Kavoi Devezika. So about the windows. These aren't the actual gates. These are going to be the windows for air. Are going to be 10 amos or 20 amos in the gates of Yerushalayim. Hashem is going to make 7 canopies. Bara Hashem al kol machain, as the pasuk says, Hashem will create over the entire machain, Artzion al Mikra, and all the assemblies, Anan Yomam, a cloud by day, Va'asran, V'noiga Eish Lahavi Layla, and a light of flaming fire by night, Ki al kol kavod chuppah, every glory there will be a chuppah malamed. Every person is have a chuppah, a canopy according to his honor. Asha b'chuppah lamba. Why is there smoke over here? Says Rav Yochanan, anyone who looks stingily with a narrow eye at a Talmud Chacham, now the tzaddikim are going to be sitting in these incredible chuppahs, and then his eyes will be filled with smoke. How careful we have to be the way we look at Talmidei Chacham and Veish b'chuppah lama. Why is there a fire? Each person will be singed by the chuppah of his friend. What terrible shame and disgrace it's going to be when one realizes he didn't accomplish and he gets burnt up by the chuppah of his Talmidei Chachamim. We find similarly in Asata Ma'idecha Alav, says the pasuk, who puts a majesty upon him, Lo kol ha'idecha. Zekinim Shaisa Adar Amr b'nei Moshe b'nei Chama b'nei Yeshua k'b'nei Levana. Ayla leisa busha, ayla leisa klima. We find a similar similar scenario by Moshe Rabbeinu and Yeshua as Price Talmud, that it's true he was great, but it didn't paled in comparison. It was like the moon in relationship to the sun. Continues the Gemara. Amar Rav Chama. We're 6 lines at the bottom of Ayin Amar Aleph. Baruch Hanina, as a chuppah says, "Kadosh Baruch Hu L'Adam Arishan." Adam Rishon 10 chuppahs ben Gan Eden Shenemar. Beidin Galak Yisi Kol Even Yikara V'Goy Mermar Zechamar Achas Esri Yid 11 chuppahs Shenemar Kol Even Yikara. Amar Rav Yechanan V'Garosh V'Kulan Zav. You know, the smallest of all the chuppahs that Adam Rishon had was made out of gold. The Kachash of Leil of Seif was listed at the end. Gold was the least valuable and only went up 10 or 11 chuppahs from there. Mai Melachas Teifech Unik Vechabach. What does the pasuk mean? It says, "Work for your drums and holes are within you." Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav, 2 lines at the bottom. Amar like Kadosh Baruch Hu leCheiram. Kadosh Baruch Hu says to Cheiram Melech Sor, "Becha nistakalti." I looked at you, Barisi Nekavim Ba'adam, and I created holes in a person for bodily discharging. That what it means is the holes are there in order to allow out different secretions, etc. Continues the Gemara. This is what it means. Nistakalti. I gazed v'kanasti misr Adam Arishain, and I decree that unfortunately Adam Arishain will not live forever, and rather he's going to have to die. Says the Gemara, the top line of Ayin Amud Beis. Ma'iv al mikra'eho. What is the meaning of the pasuk that says, the pasuk in Yeshaya that says Al Yikra'eho Rav Yechanan like Yerushalayim Shalom Hazeh Yerushalayim Shalom Haba. Yerushalayim of this world is not going to be like the Yerushalayim of the next world. Yerushalayim Shalom Hazeh Kol Roitz Alalo Yisrael and could go up Shalom Haba Ina Oilin Elah Muzumanim La La'is Lava. Not everyone is going to be able to go up to Yerushalayim. Only those that are mizumin, that are fitting and prepared and invited, can go up. 6 lines down. Tzadikim are going to be called in the name of Hashem. Shenemar Kol Hanikra V'Shmiu L'Chvoidi Barasi V'Sartiv Af Osisif. Given they call Kadosh Baruch Hu, 3 people are called by the name of Hashem Ve'Eluhein Tzadikim U'Mashiach V'Yushalayim. Tzadikim Adamar, like we just saw Mashiach T'chsev. Where do we find the Mashiach is called by the name of Hashem? That's Shema Yashikru Hashem Tzidkenu Yushalayim T'chsev. Sabah V'Shemad Eser Elef V'Shem V'Yir Miyam Hashem Shama Shama El Shema Sama El Shema. That it's the name of Yushalayim will be the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Continues the Gemara. Rav Elazar. I see them Zadikim Sha'im Rim Lefnei Kadosh Keder Sha'amar Lefnei Kadosh Baruch Hu. Zadikim are going to say Kadosh in the mannerism that Sha'im Rim Lefnei Kadosh Baruch Hu, like they say now. Shemar Vayanishar B'Tzion V'Anoyisar B'Yishayim Kadosh Yamar Loi. L'Asilavah. The Zadikim are going to be able to say Kadosh to Hashem. Like we Yerushalayim Gimel Barsayis Lamala. L'Asilavah. Hashem's going to pick up Yerushalayim 3 Barsayis above. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, V'Rama V'Yashva Tachtel, my Tachtel Kitachtel. Umimai Dai Tachtel Tlosa Parsi. I don't know that much. Havaya Amarabba Amar Aliyah, who Sabli Chazu Yerushalayim Kamaisa. I saw, says this elderly person, the original Yerushalayim, Utlosa Parsay Havai, and it was 3 Parsayis, and that's how high Shem will pick up Yerushalayim Lasa Lavai. V'Shema Taimi Yisar La'alois. Maybe we're going to say Yerushalayim is going to be so high, it's going to be difficult to get up. Tamalayim Rami'ela Ka'if Tefina Kienim El Aruba Yisayam, fly like a cloud, pigeons. Amar Papa Shmamina. Hi, Eva Tlasa Parsi Midali. That one is able to go up 3 parsais. Amar Rav Chanina on the first white line. Bar Baba Bikid Jadish Baruch Hu. Bikesh Hashem desire. Lastly says Yerushalayim b'mida. Hashem wanted to give Yerushalayim a fixed size. Shenem Mar Vaymer Anata Hoylech. Everybody Yerushalayim going to measure Yerushalayim. There is Kamar Chav, how wide it is. Kamar, how long it is. Amru Malachi Asharis Lamnagadish Baruch Bainai Shalaylam. Harbe Krachim Baras, you can in many cities, Balamach in your world, Chulmasailam, Vlanasata Midas Arkan Midas Rachvan, and you don't give it a precise measurement. You shalayim Sheshimcha Betaicha, say the Malachim to Hashem, Umikdashich Betaicha, Sadikim Betaicha, Taneswa Mida. Can it be, say the Malachim to Hashem, that Yushalayim is going to have a fixed size? Miyad, what happened? The Emir Elav writes, Davar El Anar, run to the Nar. Davar Halaz Leimar saying, Parazais Atishav Yushalayim, Rivadam Avema B'teicha. It's always going to be open and ever expanding to accompany all the people and animals in its midst. Amar Reish Lakish, that's a Kajvach Laisva Yushalayim Elev Ativ 5. It says Reish Lakish, we just said Yerushalayim is going to expand. Let me tell you how much it's going to expand. In the future, Yerushalayim is going to add on garden 1,000 times. The miracle value of Tafef is 169. Elev couple Midgalim, towers 1,000 times couple, 1,000 times 210. Elev Litzave Baraniyais, castles 1,000 times Litzaye, which is 146. Elev Sheni Shila, 100. Elev Shnei Shila, 1,002 times the word Shiloh, which is 345. They're all going to be like Shil Sipari when it was in its prosperous time. Time to the price of Yasin Irisi Sipari Vishalvasa. Vayaba Mayo Shmainim Elev Shvakim 180,000 marketplaces. Shalmaychre that were sold Sike Kedera. Pots too. That's a large Yerushalayim it's going to be. Pots Loi Selam. Sela Tzela Shalosh Pamim. Beis Hamidrash had chambers 33 times. Shalosh Pamim. My Shalosh Pamim. What does that mean? I'm Rav Levi. I'm Rav Papi. Misham Rav Yeshua. Disakini Yem Gimel Yushalayim Ein Kolachas Vachas Yishba Shlashim Midurim. Explains Rav Levi, if thus there'll be 3 Yerushalayim, will be 3 times the present size. 30 dwellings more than the other one. There'll be 30 Yerushalayim. 3 dwellings, one over another. We see the incredible size. Yerushalayim will be Lasilavai. We'll stop over here as we're now going to get back into the dinam of the Mishnah about selling a ship. B'siyata Dishmayu.